If you visit Mont Saint-Michel during low tide, you might see it. Not just the shimmering stretch of wet sand or the towering medieval abbey, but a lone figure in a dark robe, walking the tidal flats. Locals know better than to follow him. Tourists think it's part of a show. But by morning, those who chased him are never the same. Claire Dawson had no patience for ghost stories. She was a history student from Boston, working on her thesis about medieval betrayal and religious conflicts. Mont Saint-Michel was supposed to be the centerpiece of her paper. The place had it all: drama, war, architecture, and the legend of a monk who betrayed his own brothers during the 100 Years' War. Claire arrived in late September, when the crowds had thinned. She booked a small room at an inn near the base of the island and planned to spend a week exploring the abbey, speaking with caretakers, and studying old records. The first 2 days were quiet. Peaceful even. She spent hours in the library and wandered the mossy corridors. But on the third night, after a wine-fueled dinner with the elderly caretaker, Monsieur Lebrun, she made a mistake. She asked about the ghost. The old man went pale. "You shouldn't talk about him," he said. "He listens when the tide goes out." Claire laughed it off, thinking it was just local superstition. But that night, she dreamed of footsteps echoing through the stone halls. She woke up to the sound of water dripping and her window wide open. The tide had gone out. And on the sand below, there was someone walking alone in the moonlight. The next morning, Claire shook off the dream. Or at least, she tried to. Her camera was on the windowsill where she hadn't left it. And when she checked the memory card, there was a photo she didn't take, blurry, taken in the night, showing a distant figure in a hooded robe walking toward the crypt entrance behind the abbey. Curious, Claire went back to Monsieur Lebrun. He wouldn't speak at first. But finally, he relented. There was a monk, Brother Alain. During the English siege in the 1300s, he opened a secret passage and let them in. Men died. Brothers. Innocents. The church buried him alive beneath the crypt, cursed his name, and sealed the passage forever. Claire was fascinated. A hidden passage? A secret betrayal? It was exactly the kind of story that could make her paper legendary. But Lebrun warned her again. Some say his spirit still walks the flats. Not to protect anything, but to make sure no one touches the sealed tomb. When someone gets too close, he follows them. And he doesn't stop. That night, Claire went back to the abbey after hours. She had charmed a junior guide into loaning her a spare key. Her flashlight beam bounced off the ancient walls as she crept past roped-off corridors and down toward the old crypts. She found it. A strange slab of stone on the far wall, carved with runes and half covered in seaweed despite being indoors. It was colder down there. The kind of cold that settles in your spine. She touched the stone. A whisper followed. Not from behind. From inside. Claire ran. The whisper had sounded like her name. Not in anger, but in recognition. Like something, or someone, had been waiting a long time for her. Back at the inn, she tried to sleep, but the whisper returned. Every time she closed her eyes, it echoed. Low, hollow, persistent. In the morning, she decided she was done. This was too much. She would write her paper, reference the legend, and never mention what she heard. But Mont Saint-Michel wouldn't let her go so easily. Her bags were packed. Her train was scheduled for noon. But when she reached the causeway, the tide was up, higher than usual, cutting off the exit. Locals shrugged. It happened sometimes, they said. Come back tomorrow. Claire returned to her room. There was a note on her pillow. You saw the door. You touched it. Now finish what you started. She stormed back to the abbey, furious. Someone was messing with her. Maybe Lebrun, maybe the guide. But when she confronted them, both denied everything. Leave it alone, Lebrun warned. You go back down there, and he won't let you leave. But Claire was stubborn. That night, she went again. This time, she brought tools. She chipped at the stone slab, slowly revealing a seam, proof of a sealed door. Behind it, she could feel air. Movement. The stone cracked open slightly. And the whisper became a voice. I have waited 700 years. Claire stepped back, heart pounding. The voice was real. Ancient, layered, like several people speaking at once. The air that flowed from the crack was foul, damp, like grave rot. She should have run. But something pulled her forward. The slab fell open. Inside was a narrow chamber, bones scattered across the floor, and a single rusted chain bolted into the wall. The chain was snapped. Claire stepped inside with trembling steps. Suddenly, the door slammed shut behind her. Darkness. The whisper turned into a scream. When they found her the next morning, she was outside the crypt, barefoot, soaked in seawater, eyes wide and staring. She didn't speak. She didn't blink. Just held a scrap of parchment in her hand. Old. Too old. It read, The Traitor Walks Again. Claire was taken back to Boston. Her professors tried to reach her. doctors, friends, even her mother. But she never spoke another word. And every night, she tried to dig into the walls of her hospital room. As if something was waiting behind them. Back at Mont Saint-Michel, the crypt has been sealed once more. The tide still rises and falls. Tourists come and go. But every now and then, someone reports seeing a robed figure walking the sand at dusk. And if you listen closely, you might hear a whisper on the wind, calling a name that isn't yours. Yet,